love this one. Or, you know, Capcom splitting up the Devil May Cry HD collection and releasing them all individually on Switch. So that did lead to the best version of Devil May Cry 3, so I guess it's not all bad. Or, you know, other things like the modern HD version of Resident Evil 4 across all platforms has the same, reticle aiming glitch, meaning that Capcom never fixed it. And we also have, you know, the modern, like, PS4 and Xbox One version of Resident Evil 4. It's still, like, despite it, you know, being, like, modern in HD and 4K and whatnot, it looks like garbage because they were lazy in upscaling, like, 240p GameCube assets basically into HD, and because those assets were not designed to be viewed at that level of resolution.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Yeah,
woo!
You're gonna infinitely be doing this, right?
What?
No, you do eventually...
Because the gravity eventually...
pulls you down to the star.
First try.
But honestly, for like HD collections or re-releases, I would honestly say that those are infinitely lazier than this, because like all of those HD re-releases or collections introduced new problems. This didn't introduce any new problems.
Oh, Battle Rock. I completely forgot it was in this game.
Yeah, I completely forgot about Battle Rock too.
Must be underwhelming, man.
Yeah, it kinda is.
Battle Rock Barrage. It's just people being really entitled.
And that's also another thing. I realize I'm sadly alone on this. I would easily take a more standard, like, slight HD touch-up like this, as opposed to some big, like, Ultra 4K, like, 1080p widescreen 60 frames a second thing, because the reason a bunch of those other collections have problems, it's because they were lazy in trying to have the games run in widescreen or run at 60 frames a second, because if you were lazy with that, it will result in creating errors. Because as I said many times before, these old games were simply not designed to run at the resolution or frame rate.
Screw it.
I say, like, you know, I don't really remember Battle Rock, and I made...
No, I know!
And I made a joke out of it being kind of underwhelming, but this part of this mission was in a commercial for Galaxy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna hide like a bitch. Hide.
Watching him, like, waddle walk around it. Yeah.
What you were thinking of in the commercial was this. They get that little bit cannon.
I mean, also, in terms of, you know, HD collections and stuff that were bad, we also have the Silent Hill collection, but I felt bringing that one up as a little unfair, because that literally couldn't be helped, because one, that collection was rushed, and two, Konami had lost the source code of all the Silent Hill games, so they couldn't use the source code for those. They had to get, like, really weird reverse engineering beta versions of the games, and that's what resulted in all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that one it's a little unfair, because they were, like, that was literally the best they could do.
Come on, you jerk. Come on, you jerk. Easy clap. I just really do feel like, and we talked about this on and off throughout these Mario games, it's just, people now just have this unrealistic expectation that Nintendo withholding their backlog is just somehow like.
And I'm gonna blame the fucking Muppet for it.
Because the other day, like, we watched that video where a guy was kind of saying the same, where it's like, Nintendo has this great backlog, and they just refuse to do anything with it. And then, what's funny is you have people, oh, backlog, backlog, backlog. Then a collection like this comes out. Oh, they're just using the fact that they know people will pay $60 to price hike their backlog. It shouldn't be this expensive. Don't say Nintendo does nothing with their backlog and then say, oh, I know you did something with your backlog, but we think it's too overpriced for some arbitrary reason.
Because of people's arbitrary, like, standards of value. Like, look, I get the idea of was like a collection, and that's also another thing, like,
Okay.
This may sound a bit hypocritical, but, like, I understand complaining about, like, a collection of, say, NES games or, like, Genesis games being priced at, like, $60, unless the idea of that collection is that it's a stupid and high amount of games being, like, 100...
Oh, bombs do blow them up. Huh.
Yeah.
No, because there's another way to blow them up that's infinitely... Damn it.
Anyway, that's another thing, the kinda arbitrary, like, ways people assign a $60 value to things. Like, look, on the surface, I get the idea of, like, wanting a game to either have a lot of content to be priced at, like, $60, or if it's a collection game, for it to be a huge, like, amount of collections. Like, I would say just a few NES games at, like, 60 is unreasonable, but if it's, like, 50 NES games or something, like, funny thing is that Sega Genesis collection, that's, like, 52 Sega Genesis games, and that was priced at, like, 40, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I can get it to some degree, but it's, like, at the same time, I feel like, aren't you also the people that kinda complain about this mission is trash, literally.
The MOT Poe garbage dump.
Anyway, I understand, you know, the idea of a game, you know, of wanting a game because $60 is expensive. Wanting a game to have, like, a lot of content for that. I do kind of get this. But at the same time, I feel like, as I said, don't you people normally, like, complain that all of Ubisoft's games are all kind of the same? Ooh, the frame rate shit the bed there. That all of, like, Ubisoft's games are kind of the same, and that it's, like, a bunch of just nebulous, repetitive content, but it's, like, by the kind of oh, we're gonna get it? We're gonna get it? Whoo! First try. Like, by the standards most people set out, those games should fit at people's, like, value, because, now, granted, to be fair, some people, they do, you know, criticize it for very repetitive, but it's like, it's a lot of content, and isn't that what you want for $60?
Ow.
That's why, for me, I feel, again, unless it's a, like, collection or something, the amount of content, for me, doesn't justify a price. It's how replayable a game is. Like, I will fully say, like, Wonderful 101 has a shit ton of stuff in it, and that makes it worth $60.
Space Junk is not. Oh. Battle Rock isn't. Okay. Oh, I'm missing out.
That's technically the bonus mission.
Yeah, yeah.
You technically did the bonus mission before the one you were supposed to do.
Semantically, yes. Ow. It's just... The reason I hate this back catalog nonsense is people sort of now equate this idea that because Nintendo can that it is basically, especially if you were born in like the 1980s, that it is basically your birthright to have every NES and SNES era game Nintendo ever produced for basically free.
And like, I can... The things, you know, Nintendo themselves have 100% like developed and published, I can maybe understand complaining about like that, but I feel a few people don't acknowledge the strange strange licensing of certain games. Another thing we have, you know, a bunch of third-party games. The reason they haven't showed up on the services is because, like, again, the third-party companies are are the ones sort of kind of being greedy assholes. If it's like, Capcom could put the classic Mega Man games on the NES online and get a cut of the profit, or they basically could get all of the profit by forcing people to buy the Legacy Collection. Especially because here in America, was it Legacy Collection 1 or 2? Which one's the only digital? It's Legacy Collection 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, so...
It was 2, Gerson. We just have a Japanese 1 and 2, just...
No, that's for the X, the series. The classic...
Yeah.
The classic series, because they even did the stupid splitting them apart in Japan.
Okay, yes, for the X... Well, for the Switch, it was digital only. I believe you can get a, like, physical, PlayStation.
I seem to remember the internet saying that they cheaped out for, like, all consoles, but I could be wrong on that. But anyway, the point, basically, is a few of the other companies are sort of to blame. And that's like another thing I'm mildly annoyed at, is people complain on like the droughts of content and stuff, but I feel like that's because they actually don't really have a lot of like third-party software to pull. Because again, most third-party companies having their own collections aren't going to put the stuff up on the NES or SNES online. Though there are a few companies that have said fuck it to that, like Wild Arms, it has the HD version on all consoles, and the SNES version is just sitting there on the Switch. So like, not all companies have been unreasonable, is that? And even with, like, potentially, you know, Nintendo published or developed games, it still might not be as reasonable as you think. Like, a fun... Like, you know, fun...
Yahoo!
A fun example of a game caught up in a big, just... kind of caught up in a big legal kerfuffle would be Mischief Makers, because it was published by Enix in Japan and Nintendo in America, and it was developed by Treasure.
Chick. Not like that game isn't the most well known, but most people know Chick.
Yes.
Because there was the sample to Chick.
Yes, because she says that every time you shake things.
Yeah.
Now we get the better version of Koopa Road, Fight Me Internet.
It is a pretty good remix. More instruments than 64.
But, you know, that's because sound hardware has just advanced in that amount of time.
I wish live saved.
Funny thing is, I think Mischief Makers wasn't the... It's not the only, like, treasure game Nintendo, published. Didn't they also publish Sin and Punishment?
Whew. Now I'm thinking about that dumb thing where someone was trying to get a petition to change the names of Fire Ants to Spicy Boys.
Why do you do this, Internet?
Oh, damn it, I'm on fire.
I'm flaming in the manly way.
Yeah, I got coins I can live. No damage around this ink. Plus, you can get just enough time to grab that. Those take a good chunk before they die off. Bring it on, Bowser! Rawr, har, har. The man himself.
Also, I think these fights are infinitely better than 64.
Oh, fuck yes they are! So you dodge him, he'll flip, he'll set on fire, then run the opposite way, catch him, he'll stop, catch him
And then
again.
hit him again.
Then he gets mad and it just repeats. More shockwaves, more fire. This isn't like, because now he'll do like the 3, and then he'll jump, and you dodge, get him to stomp. Again, run opposite, hit him. No! He'll spin around, but this is how I've always done this. Just stay in place. Roar.
Some people complain that this is too easy, but I feel like this is a better fight because at least I understand what I'm supposed to do. 64 can
1,
sometimes
2,
be a bit unclear.
3, fire. Figure out what way he's going. Catch him. He'll come around. Smack him. Backspin. Smack him. That's it. We're done. A little bit easy, but
I prefer how, like, straightforward it is, as opposed to how, you know, wonky the bombs can be, but to be fair, the first 2 Bowser fights are at least one hit.
yes, and
And
But-
Bowser uses his darkness teleport.
canonically he's a dark wizard.
He did seal all the power stars in the painting in 64.
Bowser's a dark wizard. They just never tell you that. Because that's a weird holdover from this point in the canon where Bowser was like,
Remember, even back in the first game, it was stated that he turned all the, like, toads into bricks and stuff, which means you're freeing them, not killing them, you edgy assholes.
oh, some of my favorite worlds are next. I might actually do that area before we clear it. That dome's got some cool shit in it.
How long have we been recording?
Barely past 2 hours. We could get a little bit more done. It hasn't even been 3 hours.
And we have, like, because we're 100%, we have, like, every galaxy in there open. Looks like we have everything except for the Bowser open, though we're probably only 1 or 2 stars off from that one.
And that's the thing, as you 100% this game, you just kind of overkill.
64, the same thing basically happened.
But I saw a comment. And there's a Hungry Luma we never dealt with. It's time for the question of the day and my overall thoughts on the topic. So, anyway, I thought this topic would be interesting because I basically do agree with what Carson said, and I will turn that into a question. How many of you think the Bowser fights in this game are better than the Bowser fights in Super Mario 64? Because I will argue up and down, they are better in every way. The fights in 64 are terrible. Their conveyance is dumb, and their mechanics are dumb. I don't care if people try to argue that King Babam is supposed to teach you how to fight Bowser, because that doesn't really work, since, yes, you have to run behind Bowser and grab his tail, but then you need to spin Bowser. You don't need to spin King Babam, but the stupid spinning mechanic is only used in the Bowser fights. So then you have to throw Bowser into the mines, and that's basically a super shitty boss mechanic. Galaxy at least uses the mechanics in the game. So you jump to avoid damage and you spin to deal damage. This is far better at conveying what the fuck you need to do. And making Bowser vulnerable is not that hard since he jumps up and slams. And the blue spots that make him vulnerable, some people don't immediately understand you need to get him to slam those, but those at least stand out. And I still think this is infinitely better than grabbing Bowser's tail and spinning him around to throw him. Because that mechanic only works in those Bowser fights. That mechanic does not exist anywhere else in the game. But anyway, I'm starting to ramble. You can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments. Or you can leave them on social media. All of my social media links, as well as my Discord links, are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shill for a minute if you subscribe to the channel. If you follow me on social media, that really helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope I will see you all next time. So, as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to everybody. I hope you come back someday. See you later.